to us?
I was born in the Ivory Coast, West Africa. I speak French, English, obviously. My mother's native language, African language, Jula. My father's, which is Wolof. So I'm also half Senegalese, because my dad's family's from Senegal directly. And also Arabic, I can read Arabic, and speak Spanish proficiently. So my parents were already here. My father came in 1998, my mom came in 1999. He had a boutique back home, and so he always conducted business around the world, so he always traveled. And the guy that was kind of like his middleman here was ripping him off, so he came to get a better hold of operations. Then he became broke. My mom's a smart one, so then she came. And yeah, then they were here and they moved to Indiana, I think in like 2000 or something like that. So, but I didn't get here until 2007. Yeah, so when I came here, I went through the Brownsburg school system, which is a couple 30, 45 minutes away from here. And I had an ESL teacher slash like mentor. His name was Adam Guthrie, amazing guy. That's my man. Practically taught me English. And so the program was rather interesting. I was successful through it. I got out of it in about 4 months, which was unnatural, or it was just rare. So that's because I practiced a lot. My mom worked with me after school. I would watch like various things like cartoons to learn better. And so what it would look like is I would go to my regular classes like every other student. I remember in 5th grade. And then I think like the rest of the day I would focus on my ESL. And the Mr. Guthrie, my teacher, and my mom were always in contact, so that I kept up also. At first, well, here's the thing. So when I got here, they tried to put me in 3rd grade, and I was already way past that, because over there, I was supposed to be in 6th grade. So then, because I guess they didn't. Brownsburg is an interesting town, small town, very not diverse. And so there was a notion that I didn't know how to read properly or understand some of the material, or I don't know. But there was some sort of assumption made there, negative advisement there. So they tried to put me in 3rd grade, and I passed out of that quickly. So then they tried to put me in 4th grade, and I passed out of that as well. Then tried to put me in 5th grade, and I passed out of that. But then they were like, okay, well, since socially here in the States, like middle school is an awkward stage, and so it'd be better for you to get like a good like year of like 5th grade and then go into 6th grade, which actually turned out to be a really good decision, because what do you do in 5th grade? A lot of math, fractions, and then also you focus on your reading and writing. And so I already knew how to do all the math, so that was pretty easy. I didn't have to focus on it at all, so I could really focus on my spelling, writing, and reading. So that actually turned out to be a very beneficial decision. It was easy in the sense that I had a mother who was dedicated to helping me. It's like she'd get off of work and we'd take off her suit and we'd go through all my work and all that stuff. But I also watch my favorite shows that I watch in Ivory Coast in French, and I already knew every part of my favorite movie, and I knew every part. And so if you think about it, part show that you know the part, you already know what they say. So when you watch another language, you pick up, you know what they're saying, and so you won't get every word, you'll pick up one word, and so you'll make the connection, oh, okay, that's what that means. And then after that's kind of weird because you just hear it all the time, and it's like, wow. And so, speaking English, practicing English, I mean, at first I was shy, actually, so I'm very, like, extrovert right now, but that wasn't the case back then. It's actually coming here that made me become an extrovert, because I had to talk to people to actually learn. Overall, had a relatively good experience. I love it. Now, Brownsburg, like I said, is not diverse at all. I think we're like 96% white or something like that. And so what I wasn't realizing at the time was some of the microaggressions that I was receiving. which plays subconsciously in the minds of lots of students of color, especially. So, for example, I was the only African American in my class, and so we're African, and so they would, I'm like, oh yeah, well, Ibrahim, you're a smart black guy, or you're not like the other black people. You dress nice. And so at the time, I used to love that because it was a compliment, and so I was like, yay, that's amazing. But then as I got older, I started thinking to myself, what does that mean? What does that mean? And so it's definitely interesting in that sense. Assumptions, first question you get asked, being from Africa, do you speak African? Well, and my answer is always, do you speak North American? Then they're confused. Then they ask me, well, then I asked them how they speak, then I told them I speak French. They're surprised, like, how do you speak French? Then I asked them how they speak English, because this is not England. And then they're like, we're Colons, we're the British. Like, okay, well, we're Colons, we're the French. See, it all works out. In my experience, personal experience with the people that I've dealt with over the years, they have been very clueless about cultures that are different from the U.S. specifically. And then, Europe is a little bit different, but then moving into Africa, because some people even think that Africa is a country, they don't even know it's a continent. And people also just refer to us as like Africans, as if we're this like homogeneous, but Africa is actually the most diverse, ethnically diverse continent on the planet. So, for example, in Ivory Coast, the size of New Mexico, but there's 60 different ethnicities and 7 different tribes. So, like, people can't even like wrap their mind around that first, but then they want to lump us all together. So that's one. And in terms of the way immigrants are portrayed, there's nothing new. The U.S. has always had a history of portraying newcomers as the other, as these, like, even though they contribute to society, and so that's really nothing new with the Americans. Ooh, every day, man, back-to-back World War champs. I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. It's the thing that stunned me the most when I came here. People are so blindly patriotic, at least in my experience, about the U.S. There's this notion that this is a can do no wrong country that is just perfect. I mean, the whole back-to-back World War champs narrative just really cracks me up a little bit. But, oh yeah. And so, some of the questions you get when asked, or at least in my experience, is, well, why did you come here? And then it's assumed that like it has to be like a negative reason. It's like, were you oppressed over there? Like, what? No. As if there isn't Americans studying overseas in like other countries as well. But American supremacy is definitely a thing. It's embedded in American culture since the Cold War because of propaganda. In my opinion, I think that's when it really started to hit off. But this notion that the U.S. is absolutely the best country in the world, we do no wrong. Even if we do, we're justified by it because we are the USA after all. America. So here's the thing. So in Ivory Coast, like I said back before, time back in, there's 63 different ethnicities, right? So that means there's 63 different languages. And the contrast I make to that is like, think of like Native American tribes. So they all have different cultures, different languages, things of that nature as well. And so when you're little, you're exposed to like 63 different languages, right? And then when you're little, your brain can literally learn anything. And so what happens is people tend to pick up 5 or 6 languages or the closest to them. So they'll learn their own, and then their neighbors and their best friends, just because, right? And so you'll have people that speak 9 different languages, right, in Ivory Coast. And so then it makes everything else easier. That's why I think particularly for me, it was easier to learn English and perhaps other students or ENL students.